Good day. This is a 2-video series on my custom class setups. This video here is composed of clips from recordings discarded of games that did not make it to upload. So I extract clips from matches, and I take those clips, and about once every month I upload them into a multi-kill montage. Sorry folks, let me take a drink of water real quick. Alright, so this time around, instead of making a multi-kill montage, I'm going to use the montage basically to make a video about my custom class setups. And I know Modern Warfare 3 is about to go away, but, Black Ops 6 is about to come out, but better late than never. But, I see some of you guys are just dying to know about my custom class setup, so I'm going to try and break it down pretty good. And I'm also going to use these multi-kill clips to also kind of explain what I'm doing in them. A lot more goes into the class setup than actually the gun itself and the equipment you use. So the first gun in my custom class setup is the SOA Subverter. I use this in the map shipment. Oh, and above the class setup, the first thing I guess you use is the demolition vest, the vest. So the demolition vest, it gives you 2 lethals. And it like refreshes your lethals every 20 seconds, but it feels more like 2 fucking minutes. So the SOA Subverter is a battle rifle. With it I have 4,645 kills, a 1.79 kill death ratio, only 20% accuracy. Before I switched my Xbox off from cross-platform to no cross-platform, it was around a 1.5, but I think it's going to go above 2.0 because it's been climbing rapidly in that kill to death ratio. So unfortunately, most of the kills I got before I switched to no cross-platform. So I have a real deep KDR when I was at 1.5. Meaning I got most of my kills around where I was 1.5. Just shows you how many more kills I got once I went no cross-platform. And just going left to right with my custom class setup with this gun, I have the main battle rifle. Well, first of all, the vest, demolition vest, SOA Subverter is main battle rifle, launcher is my secondary, the stim stick, whatever, as my tactical, the proximity mine as my lethal, field upgrade trophy systems, because the enemies love throwing grenades and fucking flashbangs, limp wristing it, as I call it, like crazy. For gloves, I got the marksman gloves. They help your ADS stay steady, give you a little flinch resistance, I think. For boots, I have reinforced. They're supposed to help you with movement reduction penalties. I mean, like from, I guess, enemy stuns. For gear, I got EOD padding. If you don't have EOD padding on, blast shield, whatever they used to call it, you're going to die from grenades every time. So yeah, it makes the enemy use 2 grenades on you. And you get an extra piece of equipment, so that's for gear, mag holster. That allows you to have faster reload speed, so sweet. I didn't even know that. Alright, now I'm going into the gun setup. I have the Shadow Strike suppressor, and it's always a no-brainer to me. I play core mode, always have a suppressor so you have a red dot on the enemy HUD display in the top left. And some good advice about attachments. I noticed some players don't use all the attachment slots. Some do. I usually try to not use attachments when they have consequences to them. You'll see that in the red letters. And you'll see the proficiency in green letters. I look at the proficiencies and the consequences when I select my whatever attachments. So back to my attachments, I have the Shadow Strike suppressor, the Paracord grip. For the laser, I have the S1 MW PEC. You'll notice that has like no red consequences. Some of the lasers have like a giant green laser that shoots across the map, and that shit's dumb. For the optic, I have the Quarters Classic red dot. I notice a lot of people use red dots, and it has a lot of like stuff in the way. Use a red dot with the thinnest profile. If your optic obscures your view at all, that's less view. As you play the game longer, you're going to be able to use that less obscurity to your advantage. It's going to be a fraction of a second quicker for you to see things. And the last attachment, 30-round magazines. So at all times in general, when I'm looking at my screen, I'm actually looking at like 4 things at one time. On the left, on the middle left, you can kind of see like who's killing who. In the red, you can see when the other team's killing your team. So I'm using that to see how frequently my teammates are getting killed. In the top left, I'm looking at that HUD display. I want to know where my team is. If I can see where the bad guys are, that's even better. I want to see if my guys are moving, if they're posted. if we're in a mutual situation, if we're in a defensive situation, if we're in an aggressive situation, if there's any kill streaks. So if my team is kind of on their knees, blowing the other team, I'm going to be more surgical when I start out. I'm going to focus on the first place. I think the other team's going to pop at it. And then I'm going to work on pieing, creating more of those angles where all right, some time has passed, some guy popped out here, 2 seconds later, and start finding the next spot, watching 2 places at once, and so on and so forth until I finally make my next move. As you can see here, I pop out, and right away, there's enemy. And as soon as I take on that guy, there's 2 other guys popping out my screen. I have to reduce my angle even further, reduce my exposure to the enemy even further. But in a split second, I just took out like half the enemy team. Not only that, my entire team got wiped out. So I got a triple kill, and my whole team's dead. Now you'll notice when I pull the trigger, I do not ever depress that trigger for the SOA Subverter. Only in an emergency do I pull that trigger all the way down and let that fully automatic ride. What I do instead is I try and shoot it semi-automatic, real quick trigger pulls. That eliminates almost all the recoil, and it makes that gun shoot flat. So if the enemy team's lined up in front of me in my sight picture, they're all going down. Well, except for the fact the gun takes about 4 hits to get a kill, but you know, the shots are pretty rapid. You know, people cry, oh man, you're camping, but like what a lot of people don't realize is almost half of the matches I play in are just my team getting spawn raped. And what that means is as soon as you spawn, you're dead. So you spawn, you're instantly dead. So how do you play when the game's going like that? You gotta get surgical. You gotta get what's known as tight. Another tip with this gun is a reloading kit. I have 30 rounds in a magazine. I have the most obvious reload, emergency reload. I'm completely empty, my mag's dry. I gotta put another mag in. What is not common sense? What is not common sense is when you reload a partially full mag. I used to reload after every engagement, but it became just too common where as soon as I reload, poof, there's the bad guy right in front of me. And I can't do a thing for a few seconds and I get killed. So to stop that, what I found is more efficient is not reloading until I am at 50% magazine capacity, meaning 15 rounds in this case. So if I ever reload before I'm 50% empty, I always kind of shame myself. That is a bad reload. If I reload at 50% capacity or less, I'm like, alright, go reload. I often forget, so I call myself out on it. So the only real disadvantage I see with the SOA battle rifle is it's a little weaker head-to-head, but it's also a little faster if I use it in shipment from, like, you know, your left to right engagements. Your left to right engagements. I don't know if I said that right. Excuse me, time for another drink.
Oh, come on! Setting mine. Changing mag. Friendly overwatch. Update. Move to the hard point. Secure the area.
Alright, my next custom class is for the map stash house. The main difference in this custom class is instead of the demolition vest, I use the gunner vest. The reason I have 2 different weapons is because when you spawn in the map stash house, half the time you gotta fight from your spot, and it's usually rapidly from the left to the right. Once you win your battle and your spawn, maybe you want to keep the SOA out so you can move to a better spot, or you want to set up. You want to set up and post up. I like maps that have corners that cover at least 25% of the map. It's always advantageous to have the player back there. When you're playing in long range, you need a weapon that's going to have one-hit kills. But Ink House isn't really that much of a long-range map, it's more of a medium-range map, so you also need some rapid fire. So that's why I went with the MPC Interceptor rather than a sniper rifle. Quick stats on this gun: I have 5,647 kills and a 2.1 kill to death ratio, 21% accuracy. You have a bunch of guys head on front. You have a bunch of enemy guys head on dead in front of you, and you start firing this gun at them. It just shoots darts. Usually you take them all out. Alright, so my custom class setup for Stash House. I use the Gunner Vest. I already explained the Gunner Vest allows 2 primary weapons. It also allows you to have max ammo and quicker reloads. The 2 weapons I picked, the SOA Subverter and the Marksman Rifle MTZ Interceptor. I need another drink of water. My tactical, and I'm going left to right. My tactical I use a stim. Lethal I use a proximity mine. Field upgrade I use a trophy system. Gloves I use Marksman gloves, boots, reinforced boots, and gear EOD padding. Now, as for my attachments, like I said before, I try to use attachments with no red consequences, all green positives. So kind of going left to right, I use the Reich suppressor, the power cord grip, the SC1 MW peg, the quarters classic red dot, and the 30 round magazine. Oh, correction, that was all for the SOA Subverter. So you already know the attachments for that. They stay the same as for the shipment class. Now I'm going to get into the attachments for the MTZ Interceptor. Alright, going left to right, the Ike suppressor, the power cord underbarrel, the SC1 MW PEC, the red dot close quarters classic, and then the 20 round magazine. So when I use the MTZ Interceptor, I'm looking for a spot where I can post up. And cover around 20% of the map, 25% of the map. The gun is really great for taking enemy head on, but once you start taking on enemies from the left to right, that's where you're going to see the rate of fire of this gun is really going to negatively affect you. As like before with all guns, when it comes to reloading, a good reload is at that 50% mark. A bad reload is anything before 50% magazine capacity. Use that across the board with all guns. You know, while this gun is weaker, close range and left to right shooting, it's still a deadly gun. That 20 round magazine capacity is what makes this gun really sick. As soon as I turn cross platform off, my kill to death ratio exploded with this gun. It was probably around a 1.7 before I turned cross platform off. And there's still a lot of people that cheat and no cross platform somehow. I don't do it. I'm not into it. Played Call of Duty both mouse, keyboard on PC and on the console. I can tell by the microsecond when people are using a joystick controller and when they're constantly using a mouse and keyboard, or they're using something else, some kind of other hardware hack like Zim. Xbox treats console players like dog shit, I noticed. So I'm never going back to Xbox. I'm done with the Xbox once I can no longer play Call of Duty on like the Xbox Series S. Alright, so that's the end of this video. It's a 2-part video series. I made this video because of the comments I've been seeing. If you like this video, if you like my shitty microphone, hey, feel free to leave hateful messages. I like your hateful messages. Whatever. Just, hey, subscribe. That is helping this channel out a lot. Alright, on to the next video. Look for the second video. Have a good day.